Now, speaking of fairy tales, there's some stories that we know that we call fairy tales. And those stories come from Europe. So they come from Britain and Ireland and Scotland and Germany and France and Spain and places in Europe. And they're stories that have been told over and over and over again for hundreds and hundreds of years. They weren't written down for a very long time. People just remembered those stories and told them. And all over the world, all different people have their stories that they tell. They're called myths, legends, all kinds of tales. But fairy tales, these are a few. Jack and the Beanstalk is a fairy tale. The Three Bears and Goldilocks, that's a fairy tale. The Gingerbread Man is a fairy tale. So is the Three Little Pigs, Rapunzel, Cinderella. Those are some famous fairy tales that came from France. And I'd like to share one fairy tale with you today, and that's this one. And this is from me when I was a little girl. This was my book. And it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. 1, 2, 3. Hi friends, let's read Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This is a very old book, as I said, and this was my book when I was a little one, only a few years old. The Three Bears. So these are our characters. There's Goldilocks. There's the Three Bears. And what do you think their setting is? Where does this story take place? On the moon? No. In a desert? In the future? Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. A great big papa bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a wee little baby bear. They lived in a little house in the forest. Well, there are your characters and your setting right there. I wonder what the problem is going to be. And they had 3 chairs, a great big chair for the papa bear, a middle-sized chair for the mama bear, and a wee little chair for the baby bear. 1, 2, 3. And upstairs there were 3 beds, a great big bed for the papa bear, a middle-sized bed for the mama bear, and a wee little bed for the baby bear. One morning, the mama bear made some porridge for breakfast. And you remember, friend, from Hedgie's Surprise that porridge is like oatmeal. She filled a great big bowl for the papa bear, a middle-sized bowl for the mama bear, and a wee little bowl for the baby bear. Which one would you like to eat, friends? Wow, look at this beautiful forest. But the porridge was too hot to eat, so the 3 bears went out for a walk in the forest. That same morning, a little girl called Goldilocks was walking through the woods. She came to the 3 bears' house and she knocked on the door, but nobody called, "Come in!" So she opened the door and went in. Okay, dun dun dun. Hold up now. She doesn't know who this house belongs to. She knocked on the door and nobody answered. And she's going to walk right inside? Good choice or poor choice, friends? Poor choice. Those are strangers. Boy, I'm glad you guys wouldn't make that decision. Goldilocks could really use your advice right now. Goldilocks saw the 3 chairs. She sat in the great big chair. It was too hard. The middle-sized chair was too soft. The baby chair was just right, but it broke when she sat on it. Oh no, she broke the baby bear's chair? He's going to be so sad. What should she do, friends? Yeah, those are good ideas. She needs to make it right. She could get the baby bear a new chair. She could try to fix the one she broke. Unfortunately, Goldilocks didn't do any of those things. See what happens next. Now Goldilocks spied the porridge. "I am hungry," she said. So she tasted the porridge. The porridge in the big bowl, too hot. The porridge in the middle-sized bowl was too cold. The porridge in the wee little bowl was just right. So she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks went upstairs and tried the beds. Oh, Goldie. The great big bed was too hard. The middle-sized bed was too soft. But the wee little bed was oh so nice. So Goldilocks lay down and went to sleep. Then, home through the forest and back to their house came the 3 bears. The great big bear, the middle-sized bear, and the wee little bear. The moment they stepped into the house, they saw that someone had been there.
"Humph," said the Papa Bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair."
Remember, bears have excellent senses of smell, so they could probably smell Goldilocks everywhere. "Land's sake," said the Mama Bear in her middle-sized voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair." "Oh, dear," cried the baby bear in his wee little voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair and has broken it all to bits." Then they looked at the table.
"Huh," said Papa Bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been tasting my porridge."
"And someone has been tasting my porridge," said the Mama Bear. "Someone has eaten my porridge all up," said the baby bear sadly. "Poor thing." Then up the stairs went the 3 bears with a thump, 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 and a trot, 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 and a skippity, skip, skip. That was the tiny little bear.
"Huh," said the Papa Bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed."
"And someone has been sleeping in my bed," said the Mama Bear. "Oh, dear," cried the baby bear in his wee little voice. "And someone has been sleeping in my bed, and here she is right now." What a shock for that baby bear, friends. Now Goldilocks opened her eyes. And what did she see when she opened her eyes? What would you do if when you opened your eyes you saw the 3 bears looking back at you? Well, Goldilocks said, "Oh!" She is running away. She was so surprised. She jumped right out of the window and ran all the way home. She never saw the house in the forest again. Ta-da! That's a good solution from the bears. I don't think they want strangers in their house. The end. Snip, snap, snout. Our tale is all told out. Thanks for listening, friends.